What up, YouTube? 6 Caliber 72. I'm doing a video response to the New York Critic about the Joe Budden versus Method Man situation. New York Critic, I gotta disagree with you about you saying that Joe Budden would annihilate Method Man. There's no way in hell that would happen. I got love for Joe Budden. I bought Joe Budden's first album. And personally, I think that a lot of people slept on that man's first album. That album is a classic. And if you are a hip hop, I'm not going to say hip hop fan, because if you grew up with hip hop, you are a part of hip hop. Therefore, you are not a fan. You are not somebody that's on the outside looking in. You know, I'm not a hip hop fan. I'm a hip hop kid. You know, so if you're a hip hop kid, that is one of those albums you have to have. It's like Ready to Die, or Me Against the World, or It Takes a Nation of Millions, Doggy Style, The Chronic, you know, Scarface, The Diary. Certain albums I think that people should have. And Joe Budden's first album is one of those albums. And the reason I say that is because when Joe came out with Pump It Up, I didn't like Pump It Up. I didn't. You know, I mean, at the end of the video, he had a slight snippet of Focus. That's what made me buy that album, listening to Focus. So, and Focus wasn't really saying a whole bunch lyrically. It was just the way he spit it. I liked his delivery. So I went and picked it up. Ever since then, I'm glad I did. This man, you got to think about Joe Budden. He's got songs like 10 Minutes. He's got songs like Come and Take a Walk with Me. Number One. Damn, It Feels Good to See Hip Hop say it's number one. That was a beautifully written song. See, Joe is one of them dudes that not only can he freestyle, not only can he battle, but he can also write songs. And a lot of MCs, especially today, can't do all three. Majority of them can't even do one. You know, Soulja Boy, I ain't mad at the youngin' for getting his money, but he's terrible. He's garbage. Bow Wow, if it wasn't for Jermaine Dupri, Rock, and the Brat writing his rhymes, he wouldn't even exist. You know, I mean, a lot of these youngins, they got to keep shit in perspective. These youngins, I mean, the whole thing with that Vibe magazine bracket and everything, the way they had that shit on there, Soulja Boy should have never been on that bracket. Bow Wow should have never been on that bracket. Who else they had on there? They had Will Smith on that bracket, and Will Smith would not have won the whole title of best rapper ever, but I do believe he should have been on that bracket. It's just that the work that he put out, people kind of look at Will as, okay, he's this soft ass rapper, whatever, blah blah blah, just never whatever. But Will was actually pretty good, and I think he's one of those rappers that kind of people don't respect him, and I think he's disrespected a lot. That's my opinion. But other people shouldn't have been on that. Hammer shouldn't have been on that bracket. Got love for Hammer, but he shouldn't have been there. You know, Joel Ortiz is not on that list. What kind of shit is that? Lupe Fiasco is not on that list. That's ignorant. That don't make no sense. Who in the right mind would not put Lupe Fiasco on this list, but you gonna have Bow Wow on that list? No Lupe? What kind of shit is that? That's insane. You know, so I mean, the list is bullshit. But far as like Joe Budden and Meth, I got to give that edge to Meth. I mean, come on. I mean, you said that Joe Budden is a conscious rapper and Meth is more of a crowd-pleasing rapper. I think it's the other way around. Joe Budden is he's a deep rapper, but I don't think he's a conscious rapper on a Method Man or a Rakim or a Black Thought type level. Joe, the reason why I like Joe's album is because Joe did something with his album that a lot of people don't do, and that's he poured his soul into that album and he let people know who Joe Budden was. You know, as far as, you know what I'm saying, his addiction to the PCP and his mental problems, whatever, and the problems with his moms and his dad and all that. And, you know, 10 Minutes is one of the most beautiful songs I ever heard. You know, And a lot of rappers aren't don't have the balls enough to make an album like Joe Budden did, and to have people come inside his brain like that. You know, because he let people inside what he's thinking. You know, a lot of rappers don't do that. You know, Pac did it with Me Against the World. He let everybody into his soul. You know what I'm saying? Pac was in jail at the time, and Pac had a whole lot of shit on his mind, whatever. Personally, I think Me Against the World was Pac's best work. You think about Biggie with Suicidal Thoughts. You know, he let people inside what he was thinking. There's certain MCs that it's not about how they was hustling on the street. It's not about how much money they got. It's not even about how well they can rip the mic. They telling you something about them. They're being personal and they're pouring their heart out on wax. It's a very rare thing. So that's what Joe Budden did in his first album, and I think people just need to slap themselves for not having that album. You know? But can he fuck with Method Man? No. There are certain people that they never had to battle anybody on wax because people know these people are not to be fucked with. Rakim never had a battle with anybody. Freddie Fox came at him, but he never went back at Freddie Fox because he wasn't on that, because Rakim, he's on other shit. He doesn't have time to be battling nobody on whatever. And personally, I think Freddie Fox is kind of disrespectful in the way he did that shit. So, you know, but Rakim has never been challenged. Busta Rhymes has never been challenged. The little bullshit with G Unit and Ja, and he had the little thing he had to say about Ja because Ja said something slick out his mouth, but that don't even count, you know. But Busta Rhymes has never been challenged. Black Thought from the Roots has never been challenged. Certain people have never been challenged, but it doesn't mean they can't get up in your ass. Method Man is one of them people that just because he hasn't been challenged and just because he hasn't been in a battle doesn't mean that he should be challenged. Got love for Joe, but you put both of them on the mic, line for line, 32 bars apiece, Memphis is going to crush him. Hands down. Joey is going to get his jabs in, you know, and I don't think it's going to be a total knockout, you know, but Joey's not going to win. He's not. That's just my opinion. You know, there's going to be some people that disagree. There's going to be some people that agree. But Method Man versus Joe Budden, my money is on meth. Breaks it down to the bone gristle. Ill speaking, scud missile, heat sinking. Johnny Blaze. Deuces.